He came like a sheep, now acting like a lion. All right, the Ad Hoc Committee of the House of Representatives on River State has summoned the sole administrator of the state, Vice Admiral Ibok Ibas, retired.
Well, this committee ought to have been in place long before now. The truth is, you cannot give someone um, powers uncontrollably. There's need for certain measures of control. Otherwise, the person will become so powerful and do things uncheckmated. Many Nigerians were worried, rightly so, that Ibas was taking certain decisions, dissolving certain institutions of government without recourse to anybody. Probably he was reporting to the president, and if the president said go ahead, he will do what the president gives him the go ahead to do. But this is a democracy. The State House of Assembly has been suspended, the elected executive members suspended. So it is only natural, if you go through our laws, it is only constitutional that in a state where a state of emergency has been declared, the House of Representatives assumes the responsibility of the legislative arm of that state. It is clearly stated. So for Ibas to have been making appointments and running the government, well, some persons may want to argue that most of the appointments were not necessarily those ones that would have the appointees appear before the legislative house. But if you take a look at the local government administrators, even some of the pronouncements he has made, there was need for legislative input. And I think that's what the House of Representatives wants to do now. Let's checkmate the powers of this man. It is not enough for the president to have pronounced this. There is need for certain oversight functions, and that's exactly what this committee would do.
I think the House of Representatives is just being political in coming rather late in dealing with this matter. There is a constitutional provision that the House of Representatives oversights and oversees the affairs of a state in an event that the National Assembly, the State Assembly is not there. And even if the State Assembly is there and there are issues that warrant, a bit of arbitration, the House of Representative is mandated to deal with it. Now, questions have been raised. This is a political issue in River State. Questions have been raised about how come each time there is need for a state of emergency in Nigeria, it is a retired military person that is taken there. I remember vividly Chris Ali in Plateau State back then in the days of Joshua Dariye and Obasanjo being the president. Of course, we had such issues in Ekiti and maybe somewhere else. But now in Rivers, this one is so arbitrary in its sense. This one is so, it's like an open check given to retired Admiral Ibas. And he came like a sheep, now acting like a lion. It appears to me that when he came on board, he was just taking his time to settle down, or he was just trying to be a gentleman. Then some person said, hey, this is not how a military man should behave. And then they turned the state into a pseudo-military government. Obviously, even his chief of staff is a commodore.
That's right.
It's 7, right?
That's right.
Oh, I didn't even see if there was RTD after his name. And so what we have in Rivers with the militarization of the place and all of that being, as people say, directed by some person who was a protagonist or antagonist in this whole scenario. Well, the House of Representatives, as we say in Nigeria, has started, like we say in Nigeria, it's never too late. Abi?
Better late than never. That's right.
All right, so this is what we're seeing. But I think they should know indeed that this is a democracy. The Constitution is very clear on this. I did say the other day, where is the place of the judiciary as an arm of government? This is different from the judiciary as, the courts and, other legal environments. The judiciary as an arm of government, what is it doing? Yes, the president appoints, Kekereakun, and in the case of the appointment could have been any other person. So Does she not have a say, looking at the Constitution, to deal with this matter?